The NBA offseason is already into full swing as we have updates on Charlotte Hornets' potential interest in trading LaMelo Ball, an update on Giannis Antetokounmpo situation that Milwaukee fans are probably not going to hear. A couple of players pick up their team options, and reportedly the Kings are looking for an additional first-round pick. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. I'm the host, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go and get into these recent rumors. Charania has come out, and as when he was a guest on the Pat McAfee show, talked about LaMelo Ball and the trade rumors surrounding LaMelo Ball. He says this: if a team calls the Hornets and makes a massive offer, I mean, you're the Hornets. You have to be all ears on that. So reportedly, that league sources signal the Hornets have actively been engaged in trade conversations with others eyeing the fourth pick in anticipation of the 76ers passing on Bailey. There also seems to be a potential pre-draft war breaking out between the Wizards, Pelicans, and Knicks over Jeremiah Fears, who is widely viewed as the second best guard in the draft behind Dylan Harper. While they may hold interest in Bailey, those teams have also have Fears high on their draft boards. Trading up to the fourth with Charlotte would be potentially give these organizations a choice between Fears and Bailey, as the Hornets could comfortably move down a few spots and still end up with the player they want. Mark Williams continues to come up in trade discussions around the league, and it seems like a matter of time before the Hornets move him. So this is a couple of solid updates in regards to the Charlotte Hornets. So LaMelo Ball is something that they're all ears on, reportedly, right? Not necessarily actively shopping him, but are willing to listen to offers on LaMelo Ball. My thought process that I deal with everything that deals with this is that all it takes is a team to make an offer that the Hornets may not have expected to hear for them to go from listening to offers to being actively engaged in trade talks to try to go ahead and move them. Now, I'm not saying that is what they're going to do. The Hornets are always in a weird spot, right? The Hornets are a franchise that they've never really been a free agent destination at all. They either have to trade or they have to draft their best players, right? And so moving off of LaMelo Ball, who, don't get me wrong, LaMelo, a very talented player when he's on the court. He's some problem, just like with his brother Lonzo, not as bad, right, with staying on the court. But LaMelo is a very talented point guard in this league and somebody who can absolutely fill it up. Now, I do think that Charlotte Hornet, you guys know I do a podcast with Doug Branson, who is the host of Locked On Hornets. And one of the problems that sometimes Hornets fans have with LaMelo is that they feel like he's never really taken his game to the next level and refined that. Now, you know, it is what it is when you come down to that. It's all in the eye of the beholder. But if the Hornets are, you know, if they're listening to offers on LaMelo Ball, to me that shows a willingness that it's like, okay, they're not at the place where it's just like we're not going to move LaMelo for anything. It just, you know, you're going to have to wow us with a move. And if you make a pretty damn good offer, maybe you can get it. But it seems like the Hornets have a lot right now that's up in the air between LaMelo, the fourth overall pick, Mark Williams, that you could see a series of moves from the Charlotte Hornets here. And the question is what domino has to fall first? Is it that a Mark Williams trade comes first and you get some additional draft capital or a player that you feel confident about, and then you move number 4, you move back because of the additional capital? Or is it that you keep listening to offers for LaMelo Ball until you're wowed by a team, and maybe you do something in the draft there for a team that maybe a team maybe one of those teams that are interested in Bailey and Fears or whatever, maybe they look at it and say, hey, we can pivot this, and now let's offer a hell of a pick for LaMelo Ball, right? So it's good that the Hornets are listening to all offers and that they sit in a place to where they can really get the best deal that makes sense for whatever direction that they feel that they're ready to take that team. That's the question for another day, right? You don't know what's going to happen there. Can't say what's going to happen for sure, but it does seem like Charlotte being all ears on LaMelo is probably the place that team should be in, right? The team is talented and they have pieces. I think that, you know, Bridges as well, like what do they do there? Like, are they going to be willing to move him, right? So, and sign trades, things like that. So the Hornets are an interesting team to watch here because of their draft position, the players that they have, and like a Mark Williams who they already tried to trade. That trade got rescinded, but they've already technically traded Mark Williams once. The trade just got rescinded, right? So we know that they're open to moving Mark Williams. If we're using the kind of deal that they got back from the Lakers as basically a baseline deal, So they want a pick and a young player, right? At the bare minimum, it seems like, again, that's if we're using that as the baseline of what they're looking for in a move, and that could really open them up to some things. So we'll see what happens with the Charlotte Hornets, but hearing that they're all ears on a potential LaMelo Ball trade and leaving the door open for a team to come in and wow them, I don't think that that's a bad position to be in, because it's not that you're necessarily shopping that player or you're looking to move them by any means necessary. It's just that you're opening yourself up if a deal does become available that makes some sense for your future. So we'll see. Now, after initially Giannis Antetokounmpo was reported that he is going to stay there, right, in Milwaukee, it seems like maybe there's some doubt around the future. Sam Charania also chips in and this says his future is not going to be tied to the draft. His future is going to be tied to free agency. This is a player who is at the peak of their powers. He's at the prime of his career. He's going to be able to dictate when and where if the movement is in his career. My understanding is giving the Bucks every opportunity in this offseason. We have this draft period here. We have free agency period coming up next week. We have a trade period coming up during the draft, during all of that. We have Summer League coming up. What can the Bucks do to elevate this team to surround Giannis with the players? He's been there 12 years. I think he owes them that. They owe him that. I expect that's all will be the focus the next several weeks. Now, this is after Brian Windhorst also said that as of right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo is not requesting a trade, but he can't say that that's going to be the same 30 days from now or 30 days after that, right? And so as it stands right now, it seems like Giannis is taking a wait and see approach in regards to what's happening with Milwaukee. And I think I love that for Giannis, right? Giannis is at the place now. He won a title for that franchise. And he's just at the place in his career where he has the control and he can wait and see and basically put some pressure on the Milwaukee Bucks organization to make moves that make this team better, especially in a wide open East, right? To make this team better and then see where things come out on top of that. And if he's not happy with the state of the team after free agency, after everything, listen, Giannis can request a trade at any point in time between now and the start of the season, hell, even during the season, even if he wants to give it a go and say, hey, let's see where we're at by the trade deadline. If Giannis requests a trade, the Milwaukee Bucks are going to move him. Now, I think that teams are going to be all lined up for Giannis Antetokounmpo if he does request a trade. Just period. I don't think they're going to have a trouble moving him. Now, they may have to wane through the deals to figure out what the best deal is for them, but I don't think they're going to have to it's going to be a struggle to move Giannis. Now, it's probably going to suck for them if Giannis requests that trade, but this is where we are. We're in the middle still of the player empowerment movement, but also in the second tax apron era, right? So it's like teams before, whereas a player like Giannis may held some pressure over the organization to put some pressure on them to make a move, and they say, okay, let's just pay whatever we can with the luxury tax. Let's get everybody in here now. Teams are now looking at that second tax apron and saying, listen, we can do only so much, but if we go over that second tax apron, we're basically screwed. So what are you going to do then, right? And that's when they can go back to Giannis and say, listen, we did everything that we can, or maybe that we're willing to do, that we can afford. What do we do now? And that's where Giannis would have to make a tough decision on what his future is going to look like with the Milwaukee Bucks. And I guess we'll see where that shakes out at. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think that Milwaukee can do enough to keep Giannis happy in Milwaukee? Let me know what you guys think on that down below. More trade rumors. Reportedly as well, this one's come from Michael Scotto, who says that the Kings have been in active trade talks since replacing Monte McNair and Scott Perry as general manager, and the team has expressed a desire to land a first-round pick in this year's draft. He also added that Sacramento has gauged the trade market for guards Malik Monk and Devin Carter. Now, Malik Monk is coming off one of the best seasons of his career. He put up career high in points at 17.2, assists at 5.6, rebounds in 3.8. He started 45 of the 65 games he played as well. That's the most starts in the season in his NBA career as well. And he played a career high 31.6 minutes per game. He's 27 years old, and that's at the perfect place where a contender may feel comfortable in trying to make a move for a player if they're trying to add some shooting, add some scoring, and a player that can either start or come off the bench for them. Malik Monk makes a lot of sense for teams if they need that certain skill set. Now, the question is what are you going to get back from? What teams does that make sense to where you're also getting a draft pick? And that's where things get interesting in this draft, right? Because you have a number of teams that really do have draft picks that aren't either that far away or are decent enough teams as it stands. So you could very well get something like that back. And I think Malik Monk is a player that is interesting enough at 27 years old, an $18 million contract. So it's a little bit over the mid-level exception. So it's not like you're breaking the bank to get Malik Monk either. The benefit, too, is he has 3 more years under contract, 2 after next season. Now, the last 2 years pay him $20 and $21 million respectively. Also, that last year is a player option as well. But I think that you're getting in the long-term security. You're getting a player that can fit in the modern NBA in just about any system if you need shooting and scoring. And I think that he's a player that's shown that, yeah, he can step up when needed. So I think that Malik Monk makes a lot of sense for the Kings to be shopping if they want a first-round pick. Just they might not get the greatest first-round pick back, but I think that makes sense. As far as Devin Carter, though, that's where things get a little bit more interesting. Devin Carter was a rookie last season, right? He's only 23 years old. He was an older rookie. Now, he didn't look great when he was on the basketball court, but defensively, he has still a lot of upside potentially to help teams. And when you look at point of attack defenders in the NBA, sometimes you need that. Now, he hasn't shown necessarily as much as some people had hoped for in his rookie year. He started off the season injured. Those type of things play a part into that, absolutely. But Devin Carter, I think, is another interesting prospect because he's on his rookie scale deal, only $4.9 million contract. You're talking about a team could match that easily. So I think that if Devin Carter is somebody that teams are interested in, I don't think you're going to get a first-round pick for that solo, but I think the combination of those two things, if you're trying to combine Malik Monk and Devin Carter, it's still only $23 million. Almost 24, actually. So I think when you come down to that, like, that could be something that teams could be very well interested in. But let me know what you guys think down below. The Kings trying to get another first-round pick or get a first-round pick in this draft by trading Malik Monk and Devin Carter. Do you think that is enough to entice teams, with either multiple first-round picks or whatever else to make a move with the Sacramento Kings? I mean, you're looking at teams, I know that Brooklyn's looking for some wing help, maybe there, but with them having multiple picks in this draft, maybe you can convince them at number 19, maybe, if that's the case, right? Again, I'm saying maybe there. The Orlando Magic is another team that's looking for more shooting as well. They're at 25. Maybe you can do something there, right? So there are some teams that could make some interesting case points for it. But let me know what you guys think on that down below. Now, just a couple of quick updates after this. Chris Middleton picked up his $33.3 million player option with the Washington Wizards. No surprise there. He's going to pick that up. He's not going to get that out in the open market, especially not for the way that his season went last season. So, it is what it is. It's the final year of his deal. I do think that Chris Middleton is going to find a bit of a struggle after this. He turns 34 in August, but injuries and other things have kind of plagued him when it comes down to it. So we'll see what happens with Chris Middleton long term. And then Fred VanVleet, the Rockets declined the $44.9 million option on Fred VanVleet. Now they are trying to eye a new multi-year contract, which makes some sense. After now trading for Kevin Durant, they're going to want Fred's leadership there, and I think that makes a lot of sense. The point guardsmanship is going to make sense there too. And I think VanVleet is going to really look at that and look at that and say, hey, listen, I have a chance to be part of something special. So we'll see what happens there. He's represented by Rich Paul, right? So we'll see what happens overall in that when he had 14 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 5.5 assists. He played 60 games for the Rockets last year after they needed some leadership at that point guard position. We'll see what happens there. But that's my time for today, guys. Let me know if you guys have any feelings on anything. Make sure you guys are following us at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything basketball related. And I'll see you guys next time I feel like making a video. Probably tomorrow. Hopefully not again today, but probably tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.